Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. You have just witnessed quite a spectacle from your government, a completely one-sided, made-for-TV kangaroo court hearing in prime time. Designed, of course, to destroy Donald Trump's political future. That is the key aim here. That's the most important job they have in all of this. And there's going to be so many more hearings and people will ignore them all, like they have the impeachment hearings and everything else. Also, though, to distract from the absolute disaster that the Democrat Party has handed the American people over the past 18 months. All those little details that actually affect your life that nobody wants to talk about. So let's actually be real about this. January 6th, some very misguided right-wing people, a small subsection of a huge crowd that had come to see Donald Trump speak near the Capitol building, that subsection pushed their way violently into the Capitol. They beat up some cops. They did some very terrible and distasteful things. They were unarmed, these protesters. They had no weapons, which would make it the stupidest insurrection the world has ever seen. Try to take over the most powerful country in the world with no guns. Yes, that was the mission, according to Democrats on Capitol Hill. The reality is it was not an insurrection. It was a riot. It was political anger and frustration boiling over. It was very ugly. We do not condone it. We never have. The violence was terrible. It should not have happened. Police officers were attacked. Police officers were injured. One person was actually shot and killed. A Trump-supporting, unarmed Air Force veteran who was shot by a cowardly cop. That moment was not shown tonight. They showed you plenty of this, but right there, that's a cop blowing away a 35-year-old woman with no gun. Can you imagine? Imagine seeing a woman try to climb through a window unarmed. Look at him shaking, his hands shaking, as he shoots and kills an unarmed woman. That moment was not shown tonight. Of course not. And so many critical details were not shown tonight. That was the design of this. That's why we just did the last 2 hours. And I know a lot of people probably didn't want to see that hearing on Newsmax, but we are a news organization. We are going to do the news, and that's why we did it. And we gave you the other side. We gave you the cross-examination that you aren't going to get anywhere else. You're just not. Trust there will be no hearing, though, into how this administration got inflation so wrong, a problem that's affecting every single American in this country. There will be no hearings into the summer of 2020 and what their rhetoric created 2 years ago, the mayhem that we saw then. Let's cue the videotape. Do you remember all this? Oh, Democrats sure hope you don't. We saw this night after night after night. They destroyed this country. They destroyed our cities. They attacked police officers. Many people were killed, all because of their rhetoric, because Democrats knew they had to figure out a way to beat Donald Trump. So they told America that cops were evil, that it's okay to burn cities down because it's some kind of retribution for some wrong or evil that this country committed 250 years ago. And they let this country devolve into chaos for political purposes. Trust that there will be no hearing into any of that. There will also be no hearings into how Democrat rhetoric, specifically Chuck Schumer, almost got Brett Kavanaugh killed this week. No big deal. He's just a Supreme Court justice who had a guy show up at his house with a gun to murder him. Won't be any hearings about that. Now, we're going to keep talking about what happened a year and a half ago when there was a riot at the Capitol building, which, by the way, was, I guess, back in order and, business as usual, a few hours later. And let's just remember, as this all does come down to Donald Trump, here is what Trump said in the moments just before that riot occurred.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Didn't play that in the hearing. Did you think you were going to hear that in the hearing? They didn't play that in the hearing. Of course not. They played other selectively edited video.